let's go do some thinking. Oh, and quick update, I got a curtain and some organization for the closet, so hyped about that. Before I get to thinking, I gotta take some of this stuff to Goodwill and donate it. Gotta keep on decluttering. So I got my cappuccino. I'm posted up, second story of a coffee shop. So now I'm gonna do a little bit of work and then some thinking. I'll let you know how that goes. I've finished kind of like my work for my job this morning, and now it is time to do a little bit of journaling and thinking about the projects and videos that I want to make in the future. But I'll update y'all a little bit about that whenever it's not quite so loud. Well, I ended up getting distracted on my way home, so I ended up stopping by Lululemon. So we'll see if there's anything interesting in here. Not a bad tank top, but for 50 bucks, I don't know. Alrighty, so I successfully resisted my urge to spend money on anything Lululemon. So now, let me go get some Mother's Day errands done. Gotta get my mom some flowers. For all you sons out there, a bottle of wine and some flowers and a handwritten card is the Mother's Day special. I guarantee your mom would love it. Coffee shop work is nice, but sometimes you like the work from home with the puppers. Can't really beat that. Now, can you? Here comes a jealous fox. There's a good puppers. And a little bean. I did a little bean. All right, so got back from the coffee shop just a few minutes ago, and it was a great time. A great time for me to, one, get some work done, but two, just think and reflect about myself and what I'm doing and what I want to be doing and my life and all those fun things. So I guess what I'll do now is just chat a little bit about what I thought of and some of the things that I was reflecting on. And we can have this, the dogs looking out the window here in the background, so they'll be hanging out with me. There's something super magical about going to a coffee shop every once in a while. It's definitely not something that I do all the time. I'm lucky to have this great home office that I do a lot of work on. I work from home a lot and can work from my couch. But sometimes just going to a different workspace, especially like a coffee shop. Hey, buddy, chill. Having a coffee and being surrounded by a bunch of people who are also there to get some work done, there's something about that kind of lights a fire under me. And so really enjoyed that this morning. But I did a few things at the coffee shop. So one, I did my day job, and I work at Field Agent. I do have a day job. I am doing that Monday through Friday. So I got a lot of work done for my actual job. But the second thing that I did was a lot of reflecting. And before I get to the things I reflected on, I'll also mention that I did spend some time thinking of video ideas and then thinking of podcast ideas and guests I want to have on my podcast. So I did get a few of those things done. What do you want? What do you want? But now I'll talk a little bit about some of the thinking that I did. And I did this kind of in the form of free writing. Lots of the times I am someone who can just think about things and kind of come up with ideas, and there's not really much structure. But I did actually, using my Evernote, shout out to Evernote, kind of go in and just write out all of the things that were coming to my mind. And there's no structure to it. I just wrote what my brain was thinking. And there was a few things that really did come to my mind during this kind of brainstorm and reflection section. So I'll share a few of those with you. I'll start with the realization I had of why am I doing this? Why am I taking some time or feeling the need to take some time to reflect? Well, over the last few weeks, it has been kind of rainy and stormy, but I just haven't been feeling quite as energetic and passionate about life as I have in the past. After our road trip to Texas about a month ago, which was amazing, I came back home to my day to day life and was just kind of feeling a little bored and a little burnt out, which is something that I've definitely felt before, but it's not kind of where I want to be. Now, I will say I was enjoying my day to day life. I was happy most days, I was satisfied, I was having fun. But just some of that spark, that energy, that flame, if you will, of life had faded just a little bit. And I had began to notice this slight fade or just a little bit of boredom start to creep in. And after maybe a couple weeks of that, it really came to my mind that this was something that I should address. So, after thinking on that a little bit more, and why I was writing this, because of this feeling of like boredom or perhaps unfulfillment, my spark just wasn't there. I started to think of why. And, I do my personal day job, and my day job is not bad. It gives me a lot of flexibility, but it doesn't, light the fire under me. And what I realized is that it was my personal projects like videos and YouTube and podcasts and content and things like that I normally really love and like to do that, and that's kind of my creative freedom and outlet. But my motivation for doing that type of stuff had just kind of sank down a little bit. And really, I found myself all I wanted to do was sleep, work out, and play video games. And it's not that those are necessarily bad things, but I wasn't feeling as good doing those things as I am whenever I'm being creative and feeling energetic and making things that I love and being weird in myself and living a fulfilled life. So I started to notice those things, and I do give myself some grace for enjoying things like sleep and working out and League of Legends that I've been playing. But I know I wanted to kind of get back on the right track, or I want to get back on the right track of my happiness and fulfillment. As I was thinking about this, the fact that I did want to feel energized by my content again, I started to think about, why do I want to do this? Why do I want to create content? Why does content creation make me feel energized? And as I began to think about this, I really started to hone in on the idea that I want to inspire others. I want to inspire others to find what makes them feel whole. I want to inspire others to take a risk and try something different. I want to inspire others to push themselves, to learn, to have fun, to solve problems. I want to inspire other people to grow. It kind of came down to the idea that I want to inspire other people. And I've always kind of had this thought in the back of my head, but I don't know if I've ever really put those words to it. I've always said something along the lines of, I want to live my life so authentically that I feel so great and so good, and I want to share that with others so that other people can live their lives authentically. And in all of that word scramble, I think it kind of comes down to the idea that I want to inspire other people. But I don't really want to do this just for my sake. I don't really care a ton about getting famous or power or recognition, but I want to kind of do this for both my sake and other people's sakes. I want to do this because I love to see when other people are succeeding, and when other people are fulfilled, and when other people are just as happy as I am. I want to live a life that is somehow both selfish and selfless at the same time. I want to be selfish in the fact that I enjoy my life and that everything that I do is something that I love to do, and I want to love my life more and more. But I also want to be selfless, and I don't want to take things from others. I don't want to push other people down, and I truly get happy when I see other people living their lives. I want to inspire people. I want to live a life that's great for me and see other people that live life that's great for them. So that was kind of the big realization and the reflection that I kind of came to. And this is a little bit of an iteration on things I've thought of in the past, but it kind of came full circle today for some reason or another. It's just the evolution of where my mind is at the age of 25 and a half or so. And I'm sure this will change. It has to change because it's changed in the past. But it does feel like it's aligned with where my mind and where my heart is at. And it feels like something that is worth pursuing and remembering. And if I can just remember that the reason I'm doing this is to, one, be happy myself, but two, to inspire others, that feels like a good true north and a good path that I can follow. So then my reflecting kind of came to the thought of, how am I going to do this? How am I going to inspire others? And I kind of came up with 3 of the main ways that I could go about doing this. The first is what I just kind of consider the standard path. It would be working at a company, kind of having a standard career, and through that I could slowly work myself up into, higher roles in a company. I could probably influence the people who are around me at that company. I could influence, friends and family and people in my immediate network. And then maybe one day, after a lot of hard work, I can be high enough at that company to have some say in what the company does. And maybe that company can have an impact on the world. So that's kind of the first thing, and that just doesn't really resonate with me directly. I think that's a completely reasonable and viable thing to do, and a lot of people do live their lives doing that, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But it didn't seem like it's the best fit for me. The second idea that I had was I could start a company. I could start a business or an organization that directly impacts people's lives and kind of be the leader of that. And I have always loved entrepreneurship, and I've kind of started some businesses in the past with dog training and my media business and a nonprofit, but nothing has really taken off and had the impact on the world that I would like it to have. But as I'm thinking about this, I feel like this is something that I still perhaps could do further down the road, but I don't think there's any rush to do it. I think if the right idea and the right people and the right time comes, then that's definitely a great way you can make an impact, or I could perhaps make an impact on the world. So that still could be in the cards, but it doesn't feel like something that I should just be pushing for right now. It feels like something that I should be waiting for the right opportunity. And then that kind of brings me to the third and last option, but I'm sure there's more. But the third that I kind of thought of was really doing what I'm doing now, living my life, documenting my life and ideas, and sharing that with the world, creating YouTube videos, creating podcasts, creating TikToks, and just sharing my perspective and my life and the way I'm living with the world. And hopefully through that, growing a little bit of a platform in which I can share more and more and more with people and get those messages out to broader and broader audiences. And so it's a slow process, and it's a little bit of a grind. And none of my channels have really blown up or gotten out to the world in the way that I kind of wish they would. But I think that's okay. Similar to investing in the stock market, I think it's more about time in the market than timing the market. And so if I really like to do this stuff, which I really do, I should just make things and create things and post things and just be myself. And over the course of time of being myself, maybe people will see it, maybe not. But either way, I'm living true, I'm living authentic, and I'm living fulfilled. And I think that's really all that I want to do. And hopefully through that type of living and that lifestyle, I can enjoy my own life, but like I said, also inspire others. So this video is a reminder to myself, but a reminder to you that I'm a person and I want to do the things that I love. And it's sometimes really hard to do. There's artificial metrics of success like views and likes and comments and subscriptions and shares and all of that is always a push and a pull towards other things. For example, my review videos do really well and my Evernote videos do really well, but those aren't the things that really light my fire. There's some tension there. There's the tension of, do I follow the likes, follow the subscriptions, follow the views, and go further and further down a path that algorithms and crowds kind of dictate? Or do I really try to push against the current and be myself and create things that I love and create things that I enjoy, and just know that that is the beautiful thing about creating and being a human, is you can do almost anything you want. And with that, I will conclude this video, this day of reflection and working and errands and honesty. And I hope that if you watch this video, you enjoy it and can understand kind of where I'm at in this process, kind of what I am as a human, and some of the things that I'm thinking. But now that I have a little bit more clarity, a little bit of a more secure feeling of my own direction, I'm going to begin creating again the stuff that I want to create. The wild and fun ideas that people might not like, but I will like. And so with that, with this path set out a little more clearly in front of me, let me get to creating and enjoying my own life and living in a way where I feel fulfilled, so that I can hopefully inspire you and inspire others. So thank you for watching this video today. And as always, thank you for keeping it real with Ryan.